Section86.com. We're changing the world of podcasting one show at a time.
86 Productions.
Take what you wanna take. Don't leave me here. Lasting leap years ever your fear of the one and only love.
Hello and welcome to Off the Mark Survivor Series Special. You're in for a real treat tonight because we have Doug, Roger, and Aaron, and myself as we go over the 2017 Survivor Series. So the first match, let's talk about the pre-show. Of course, 205 Live is going to be on the pre-show because they will never be on the main card. So we have Enzo versus Kalisto, and to me, this is an easy one. It's going to be Enzo.
Yep, I got Enzo as well. You figure that this division is really Enzo's until Neville maybe comes back. I think Enzo is the person that everything's got to run through.
I agree. It's going to be Enzo. This will be the Enzo show until, I think it's just going to remain the Enzo show until they finally shut it down completely.
If I had a dime for as much as I cared about this match, I'd have 0 dimes. Enzo wins.
Yeah, there's not much to say about this match besides that. So let's move on to Alexa Bliss and Charlotte. Roger, who do you have on this one?
I have the one who can reach the top shelf of the counter because this is a complete mismatch on paper. Like, let's just be real here. Alexa's dominated the Raw division. Charlotte's dominated both divisions. She's bigger. She's got the sentimental favorite. They got Starrcade. She wins. She probably taps Alexa out here, but she wins.
Wait. Who was it that took the belt off of Charlotte when they were both on Raw? That's right. It was Alexa Bliss. So let's not get too...
They weren't both on Raw.
They were both on Raw.
No, they swapped.
They were both on the same show for a while, weren't they?
Nope.
I swear they were.
Nah.
I thought it was Alexa that beat her. Okay, either way. Hold your horses still. This is Alexa Bliss. 5 feet of fury. And yeah, that's about all she's gonna have. This match never made sense until you put Charlotte in it. Unfortunately, you put her in 1 week before the show. I think it could have been a better build up and everything like that. But yeah, Charlotte's gonna win this one hands down.
Yeah, same thing here. I think that Charlotte, the moment you put her in the match, it became very obvious. I think when Natalya was in there, it was a little, I don't know, but they definitely needed to have a very strong face for this match.
And I am going to go with my daughter's middle name, which is Charlotte. So that's who I believe will win that match. Not named after her, by the way. Anyway, so let's talk about Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Usos. You know, this one actually I'm really looking forward to. I have been going back and forth on this one because this is the only one I believe is not, hey, this is who's going to win. So I'm just going to have to go with my gut on this one. I'm going to pick Cesaro, and Sheamus will actually win this one.
I'm the same way as Andy. I'm 50-50. There's no clear definitive winner for me on this one. Each one of those teams kind of needs a victory, but going on what I'm thinking for the rest of the show, I'm going to take the Usos just because I kind of think that they need this just a little bit more than the Bar does. SmackDown's tag division is a little bit stronger, so I think it helps the Usos to get a strong win over Raw. Maybe it won't be a clean finish, but I think the Usos win this one.
I'm thinking along the same way as you, as whether or not this will be a SmackDown takes it all show or Raw takes it all show. So by predicting that, I go with the Usos also.
Yep, I got Usos for this one. I'm not nearly as divided as you guys are. I had like an 80%. That's kind of where I'm at for these guys, just because I feel that the Usos, they've been building them up to be a very strong tag team. And by having them lose to Cesaro and Sheamus, who they've been passing that title back and forth a little bit, I just don't feel as a very strong message that you'd be sending for the Usos. But then again, it's WWE, so who knows what they will do. But my pick is the Usos.
And we have Miz versus Baron Corbin. This match I've been going back and forth on, and I think what it's going to end up happening is I do believe that Miz will retain here, but I do believe it will be because of outside interference.
Similarly, for the Usos, I have an 80%, is what I'm at for this, and it is for the Miz. I think that the trash talking back and forth on social media has been helping. I think WWE likes the Miz. He's been doing jobs for them as of late, especially with the Shield. And I think that this is an opportunity to help him get over on somebody else. WWE, I feel, has Baron Corbin in the doghouse, so this is a great chance here to let the Miz get one over and maybe devalue Baron just a little bit more?
I think this is going to go to the Miz. It's just one of those things that Miz is he's a better wrestler, better hype person, and they have been pooing on Corbin ever since his little comments about the doctor and everything like that. So this is just another way for them to get back at him. So he's gonna lose this match.
I'm the lone wolf here because I don't agree with you at all. I think this is Corbin. I think it's obvious for one reason. Miz has never needed wins to stay over. He always gets beat. That is his thing. Corbin needs wins to be over. If he continually loses, his whole tough guy persona doesn't work. Miz getting beat and being a sniveling heel is literally what he is. So he can lose this match and not losing the overness. Corbin loses this match, he got a problem. Corbin has to win.
I do agree with you, but I don't think they want to devalue the IC title over the US title. I think the IC title to them means more to them than the US title does. That's why I believe that Miz is actually going to win.
The IC title that was not defended at SummerSlam.
Correct.
They're trying to give him Honky Tonks record is what I think they're trying to do.
Oh, jeez. All right, so the Shield versus the New Day. Doug, what do you think's going to happen with this match?
This is this is kind of a smart match. This is another way to get a 3-on-3 match going on and everything like that. But it's pretty simple. Everybody knows who's going to win because Roman Reigns is involved in this. It's going to be the Shield, and I don't think anybody disagrees with me.
Doug is not wrong in the sense of it's pretty obvious. I will say I think there's one thing that everyone should probably keep in mind is that they said something that was very interesting to me, which is by WrestleMania, the Shield will be broken up, but the New Day won't. That to me was a dead giveaway that the New Day is unfortunately probably at the tail end of their run together. I don't necessarily know that this is the match that breaks them up. This might be the catalyst to kind of begin their breakup, but I think they're done. The New Day, none of them have been world champions. The Shield, all three of them have been world champions. One of them has Roman Reigns. The other one's the New Day. I would put these odds at 100-0 in favor of the Shield.
Total agreement. Shield all the way.
And I will clear that one. Definitely Shield for the win. I'd be shocked if the New Day won this, even though I think they should win. But oh well. So the women's 5-on-5 match, and we have one person who has not been named for the SmackDown team, but of course the Raw team has been announced. So Doug, who do you think's going to win this one?
This one I've got Raw, and there's two reasons for it. One, Nia Jax. Two, the biggest reason of them all, Asuka. They have been hyping her undefeated streak, never been pinned, all this other stuff. There's only one way that they get to continue that storyline, and everything along those lines is that Asuka cannot lose. Therefore, by process of elimination, which this is a 5-on-5 elimination match, Asuka will be a survivor and will win the match.
I mean, this is the biggest mismatch on paper, and it's not even close. The SmackDown side has Becky Lynch and Naomi, Natalya, Carmella. Who's the fifth on SmackDown again? Somebody I don't care about?
It'll end up being Paige. I'm pretty sure.
Okay, let's say it's Paige. I don't care who it is. That is not exactly a murderer's row of talent. Now let's go look at the Raw side. Bayley, former women's champion. Sasha Banks, former women's champion. Nia Jax, arguably the most dominant female superstar on the roster. The undefeated NXT champion who went a year and a half, and Asuka, whose streak, like Doug said, is all about being undefeated and unbeatable, and Alicia Fox, who's probably the only one from Raw who takes the pinfall. Yeah, this is going to be probably a 4-on-0 sweep. Alicia gets beat first, and then they probably run through them and leave Becky versus all four, which is exactly what I expect to happen. But this would be an unbelievably stupid mistake if Raw, the moment Charlotte got taken out of this match, that sealed the deal for me. Raw wins. And I think they win potentially in a sweep, if not 4-0.
Yeah, I have Raw. I would actually guess maybe like 3. I could see Bayley getting knocked out because, apparently WWE hates Bayley. But yeah, I mean, at least no matter what, Asuka will not be eliminated. And I would put money down on that, put $100 down on it right now that Asuka won't be. I don't even think they would do a DQ or count out. I just don't think that wouldn't suit her character. So Asuka has to stay in there. Raw's winning this by a mile.
I actually do agree with you guys because I think what will end up happening is I think Asuka will actually eliminate all of them. Because right now the crowd's not, when I've been watching Raw, they don't seem like they're 100% behind her like what happened with Bayley. And of course, Bailey. Of course, WWE hates Bailey, as we all know. But this one's going to be a tough one. You have to have her dominate it. And I actually think that what will end up happening is I do believe they're going to eliminate Bailey, and I think they're going to eliminate Sasha Banks, which I think actually that's the dumb one. I think Nia Jax will stay there, but I think we'll actually see some tomfoolery here with Paige being on SmackDown, but then it's really that she goes to Raw. That's what I think they'll end up doing, but we'll wait and see on that part. Let's talk about Brock Lesnar versus Jinder Mahal. Roger, what do you got on this one?
Oh, the best words that you could have possibly said, because you know who's not in this match? The single worst man to have ever held any championship in the history of the WWE, the WWF, WCW, ECW, WCPW, and the Ready to Rumble group. Because that modern day mistake lost the championship to AJ Styles, which means instead of Jinder, I shouldn't have been champion Mahal, we get the phenomenal one. Now, don't get me wrong. He ain't beating Brock Lesnar. Let us just be real. His name is not Roman Reigns. He doesn't do 5 Superman punches a match, which means he's not going to get the honor to beat Brock. The question isn't who wins. The question is how competitive is this match going to be and how good does AJ look? Personally, I think it's a 10-minute match. I think we get to see a really cool spot with either he pops up out of a Styles Clash into an F5 or Phenomenal Forum into an F5. Either way, this match improved. Honestly, there's not a number to calculate the difference between Jinder Mahal and AJ Styles. Like you just cannot. Whatever your scale is, AJ is better than it and Jinder is worse than it. So Brock wins, but the fans win because this is not Jinder Mahal anymore. Hallelujah. It's morning again, to quote a former president.
And in case you guys didn't realize the joke, is Brock Lesnar versus AJ Styles. And of course, AJ Styles decides to finally get the WWE Championship back because, of course, Jinder cannot lose to Brock. And let's just put it this way, Jinder versus Brock, that would be a toilet match. That could be the curtain jerker and everyone will leave. Unless Brock Lesnar beats the crap out of Jinder, then it'll be funny. Aaron, I'm waiting for your speech about the chances of AJ Styles winning, but you talk it in a Steiner voice.
Well, but there's 2 people in the match, not 3, so I can't do it.
Okay, I'm sorry.
You know.
Well, Brock Lesnar is twice the man that AJ is, so you could argue.
He is. I will say that I actually kind of wanted to see Jinder versus Brock just because I wanted to see what they would do with it. You know, like I was actually kind of curious. With AJ, it's going to be a better match. And I think that, it's probably going to be about 10 minutes. And I think AJ will be able to put on maybe not quite Kurt Angle style, but, maybe like close to that. What we would see like Kurt Angle versus Lesnar could be something similar with the athleticism of AJ. Brock Lesnar is definitely going to win this. AJ can take the loss and not hurt him. If Lesnar took the loss, that would be it would hurt Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, and so they're not going to do that. They're not going to make AJ look better than Roman, and that's why it has to go to Lesnar. However, though, I will say I think that this will be a very competitive match, and I think that it will make AJ look like $1 million, and it might elevate AJ in Vince McMahon's eyes. And I think that AJ already has been elevated in his eyes, but I think that might elevate him even more to say, hey, this is a guy that maybe we could get behind and, kind of force him down other people's throats in the same way we were doing with Roman. Now,
do you think Jinder actually gets involved in this match, Aaron?
I don't think that he does. I don't think that would be a good spot for him. He could, but I would probably put him. I don't know if I would even have him near Survivor Series. I would maybe have him like just stay away, or maybe have him with Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn say like, look, you didn't even have us on the team and you should have, we're, much better, or, they could just sit on the sidelines sort of thing. But I probably wouldn't even have him on there. I would keep him away.
There's a decent spot for Jinder here, in that before this match starts, he comes out. He argues that he should still be in the match. He should have never had to defend his championship. And you have Brock Lesnar come out and just destroy the Singh brothers, destroy Jinder with a couple F5s. So like really get that crowd hyped and just kind of, because really the only thing about Brock Jinder, in my opinion, that was interesting was how far could he throw the Singh brothers? Like, could he take one of them and literally lawn dart them into like the 6th row? That was really the only thing I cared about. And I think you have a spot to kind of do that. And it would be like kind of like, not, I want to say like a cool down, but like something like push the pace a little bit where you're like, okay, maybe we had a bad match or a boring match. Okay, let's let him just do what Brock does and German suplex both of them off the apron through a table over like the barricade, because who cares? And all right, crowd's hyped. And now AJ comes out, crowd's even more hyped. Fun spot.
He lawn darts him into the crowd. That's the first time the crowd all moves.
Totally fine.
So no one tries to catch him. They just fly like
Totally fine.
Whoops.
No, I think it would be better if he came out in Street Fighter Turbo that like the car where he just picks one of them up and like the door handle and the actual car door, he throws that and hits something in the crowd. Yeah, I could see him doing that to both Singh brothers.
Could he actually pick up one of the Singh brothers and beat the other one with it?
Yes. That would be great.
If they do it, perfect 10. I have no complaints about the pay-per-view.
I have Lesnar winning this match also, but I am so much more excited about this pay-per-view because of the fact that the title change and everything like this. It went from Brock Lesnar being 100% chance of winning to I still have him winning 60-40. Everybody knows that Lesnar's going to win this match, but at the same time, I'm going to be more entertained. The chances of AJ Styles winning are a lot better than Jinder's. And they really can't do anything wrong with this match. I love that the promo that Heyman came out, where he came out and he praised all the opponents that Brock Lesnar has been facing, and then talked about Jinder and just mocked him. And then once it's announced that AJ Styles is going to be the new opponent for him, he went back to praising AJ Styles. And I absolutely love this, and it absolutely does show that Paul Heyman was backstage advocating for a title change and for something better than this for Brock Lesnar. So very excited for this match. It's going to be very entertaining, possible match of the night.
And I also point out, too, the thing is that AJ Styles can make anyone look good, even James Ellsworth. Good luck in your future endeavors. So,
R.I.P.
All right.
Hey, kid, keep your chin up. Even though you don't have one, keep that chin up.
All right, so let's talk about what we think is going to be the main event, Raw versus SmackDown. Aaron, what are your thoughts on this match?
So for the Raw side, just kind of a quick recap for the 5-on-5. We have Kurt Angle, Braun Strowman, Finn Balor, Samoa Joe, and Triple H taking on Shane McMahon, Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, Shinsuke, and John Cena. I had thought about this, and I'm actually going to go with Team SmackDown on this. And I think that I'll probably be one of the only people that chooses Team SmackDown. The only reason why is because obviously Triple H being on the Raw side, I think a lot of people are probably expecting something to happen. But I think with the storyline, because Shane or Stephanie said that, I'm going to fire you, Kurt, if you don't win, if you don't take, Raw to victory. I think that then provides a interesting storyline for Raw. And so that's why I think SmackDown will win. I expect this probably to come down to like a one-on-one situation where I could see maybe Kurt Angle being the final person that's going to stay there. I think Braun Strowman will probably get eliminated by a count out or a DQ. They'll probably save that instead of having it on the women's. They'll do that for the men's. That's a great way to protect him. Finn totally could lose to Shinsuke or to Roode. That'd be a good spot. Same thing with Joe. So I think that'll be a back and forth. I think it'll be very competitive. Go from 5-on-5 to 4, and then 3, and then 2-on-2, and then 1-on-1. Is what I'm expecting. So I asked Team SmackDown.
This match will be glorious. And why is that? Because of Bobby Roode. I have Team SmackDown also winning, but that is mostly just because of the aspect of I can see this being a prelude to Triple H versus Kurt Angle at WrestleMania. The way I have it, kind of the picks going out, Raw will win a majority of the matches, but they do not win this one. So Kurt Angle will be able to keep his job because of the fact that they won a majority of the matches. But there will still be the friction of not winning the main event. And something will happen between Triple H and Kurt Angle. I think Braun Strowman gets taken out due to distraction by Kane. Like you said, probably a count out. He'll probably go chasing after Kane or somebody and get counted out. I cannot tell you exactly who is going to be the survivors of what, but I could see Shane getting eliminated due to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn.
And Doug, actually, that's a good point, too, about the whole thing with Kane and Strowman. I believe something will happen with that. Good. You and I are thinking the same on that one. I
think I'm the lone wolf here again. I think you're both wrong, and here's why. if Raw wins, there's no logical conflict for Angle and Hunter anymore. I mean, sorry, that's the only bad thing about if Raw wins. But if Raw wins, Triple H and Stephanie get to take the credit. Because guess who got inserted in was Triple H. So he's going to take all the credit for the victory. They can still fire Angle and say that he didn't lead them to victory because Hunter was involved. Also, this is slightly a mismatch. There are 10 people on this team. Only one of them has never held a world championship belt, and that's Shane McMahon. And then you also have the problem of Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn are going to interfere. I think that's pretty much a foregone conclusion. It makes more logical sense for Shane McMahon's decision to backfire, to put himself in the match when he had better options like Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, AJ Styles at the time. So it makes a lot more sense for SmackDown to lose this match. And B, I really, really don't see a way that you're going to justify Strowman getting beat by anybody on the SmackDown side. I don't see a way that Hunter's probably not going to survive. And somebody's got to challenge Lesnar between WrestleMania and now, which means you've got to build up a contender. Where everyone seemed to think it's Finn Balor. This is the perfect time for him to be the one standing tall and surviving so that he can head into the match with Lesnar at the Rumble or not TLC, but whatever the December pay-per-view is. So
Clash of Champions.
Clash of Champions. SmackDown won last year as well. This is going Raw. Right. To me, I think it's one of those ones where it may look like SmackDown's about to win and Owens and Zayn's interfere. I think they take out Shane. I think they take out someone else. But I think this is Team Raw all the way, hands down.
And I agree with you too. I wanted to pick SmackDown for lots of reasons, but logically, I think what will end up happening is that Kurt Angle will get eliminated early, and I actually think Triple H will actually win. That's what I think. I think he's going to beat Cena, is what I think is really going to happen. I think that actually Strowman gets taken out by Kane. I think he gets eliminated by countout, but I think that's how you can then adjust everything else. But I do think Kurt Angle will be the first one to get eliminated. I don't know who's going to do it, but I believe he'll be the first one. Actually, you know what? I'll take that back. I think that Bobby Roode will eliminate him first, and then he'll start panicking, and he'll actually make some deal with Sami Zayn and Owens backstage, and then they'll come out, interfere, cost Shane the match. That's how I think it'll end up happening.
But what about, obviously, with what happened with Jason Jordan on Monday? You know, Triple H came out, pedigreed him in front of Angle, and Angle just stood there like, oh, hey, I guess you pedigreed my son. You know, like casually walk out of the ring, go ahead and do that, and then I'll check on him. Stupid. Good Raw, but, you know, that was stupid. I mean, Jordan is going to insert himself into this match. I totally agree. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens will be involved in this match, but Jason Jordan's going to get involved. Kane is probably going to get involved. And if you want to set up a WrestleMania between Triple H and Kurt Angle, Jason Jordan coming out, absolutely. I think that Kurt Angle is actually going to cost Triple H a spot. Kurt Angle can totally give Triple H the Angle Slam because he pedigreed his son, and then someone's going to pin Triple H. And I don't know who it'll be. My guess would be probably Shane McMahon, if I were to guess. You know, that's the way you can eliminate Triple H. I don't think Triple H will even be he may not be the final person on there. And then again, he could be, and then he gets pinned. And that's how Team Raw loses, is because Kurt Angle turned on Triple H. Or I shouldn't say turned on him, but, you know, he, you know, gave him his comeuppance.
So just so we're clear, you're saying that a match that is chock full of main event superstars, like despite my statement last time about how I believe you should have a mix of mid-carders and main eventers, this is basically a match of the elites.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Jason Jordan is going to be a deciding factor. He is such a nobody, with the exception of the fact that he allegedly shares DNA with Kurt Angle, that I doubt he even shows his face on this card. Like, he has no business inserting himself into the main event. I in no way, shape, or form that he's going to be the reason that Angle turns on Hunter. Like, the crowd hates him. His push has backfired. He is not getting. He got eliminated the moment Hunter kicked him in the gut and pedigreed him in the ring. That was the end of his push. That was the end of his relevancy. He ain't inserting himself into this main event. He's going to be nowhere near this main event.
So you don't think? No. So you don't think that Angle is going to get one back for his son? He's not going to attack Triple H during this match.
If his job weren't on the line, that would make some sense. But basically, to do that, you're basically saying I value my son of 3 months over my job. And logically speaking, he also is okay with taking an L from Shane McMahon, who invaded Raw not once, but twice. They basically made it seem like on SmackDown, Raw was tired of being punked by SmackDown. You're not going to turn on Triple H. And by the way, you're not going to turn on the COO of a vindictive authority who's knowingly going to come after you and your son because your son took a pedigree. Like, no, I don't. It could happen because it's WWE, but that would be unbelievably stupid.
Could you see this angle? Jason Jordan goes heel and joins Triple H because his dad doesn't have that belief in him and all that other stuff, and you can fight for your son. You know, maybe they put him on a pole match between Triple H and.
I
Just
do
thinking of Judy Bagwell on a forklift.
I do believe that match is coming. I don't believe it's here. I could totally see them eventually. Jason Jordan turns and joins. You know, Hunter whispers something in his ear, and then he decides to take the easy way out or whatever. But I don't think this match is when you do that.
Well,
and also,
I wouldn't say now.
Daniel Bryan should be around here at some point too. Wasn't he attacked by Kane? Doesn't he have a little disagreement going on with Shane? Isn't he the general manager of SmackDown? Like, he should at some point. If Kane gets involved, Daniel should get involved.
Well, the other thing too is, Shane could cheat to win as well, and then Daniel says, "Look, dude, that's not the SmackDown way."
The SmackDown way.
Okay, but so here's the thing: when's the last time Shane McMahon's won a match?
Well, Shane doesn't need to win the match.
No.
When's the last time he's pinned someone?
He doesn't need to pin anybody. He doesn't need to be.
To win, he does.
Well, no, he could.
No,
I'm
his
saying
team needs to win.
Yeah, the team.
Well, sure, but if he doesn't pin, that means you're saying that they win 5-3, where 2 of their people would survive for him not to score a pinfall.
Well, I'm saying Shane McMahon could get knocked out. Like, he could pin Triple H, if they wanted to go that route. But Shane McMahon could be the first one eliminated, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
And then the remaining 4 could do all the dirty work. They could win if they needed to do that. So, I mean, Shane doesn't need to be involved in the actual decision. If they're looking to put over Bobby Roode, this would be a good opportunity to do that. I mean, Orton and Cena are both in the match. I mean, that's Orton does put people over. Cena does too. But realistically, the only person that they would put over that's a part of that would be Triple H, because I think that Braun's getting eliminated early on. I think Braun is going to be eliminated via Kane, is what I'm guessing.
I mean, I agree with you. I don't disagree with. I think Kane may insert himself into this match. And that's the other reason I'm hesitant about saying Jason Jordan's going to insert himself, because at a certain point, it's overdone. You can't have that many people interfering in the match. Kane is I'm not saying he's like a quality main eventer, but he is someone who has name brand recognition. The fans know him. He has a story. He belongs if he chooses to insert himself in the main event. And Jason Jordan does not. Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn belong if they choose to insert themselves in the main event. Jason Jordan does not.
Quick side thing. So you asked about Shane McMahon. When was the last time he won a match? Does that include if he was on a team?
Yeah, I know. I said that for the answer. It was last year at this Survivor Series. That was
Correct.
the last time.
But do you know the last time he won as a singles?
Before he came back, isn't it?
All right. So WWE Saturday Night's main event, March 18th,
Shawn Michaels,
2006, by submission. I can't believe you remember that. I can't believe that. Oh,
wish I could forget that. He made him tap out to the sharpshooter. Yeah.
I'm assuming it was the
Montreal screw job. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe you remember that.
I mean,
it sounds.
I don't see it. I don't see it.
I was going to say, it sounds like this match is going to be the one that we definitely have. I mean, it's split. The other ones, for the most part, maybe one person went the other way. But I think this is the actual match, which is actually a good thing that we aren't in 100% agreement on, for what the outcome is going to be. But, I think Doug and I are both in agreement that SmackDown is going to be victorious. And it sounds like you guys are pretty solid on the Raw side.
Unfortunately.
Yeah. I think we're pretty sound here.
All right, so let's thank our sponsor, HostGator. Are you a blogger or podcaster, or are you just not happy with your web host? You need to check out HostGator.com. You're going to find web hosting made easy and affordable. HostGator offers unlimited disk space, unlimited bandwidth, one-click straight installs with a free site builder, hands down the best control panel out there. Stop by today and try a free demo. See how easy it is. And if you use special coupon code WrestleMania, you can save 25% off your web hosting packages. So what do you got to lose? Check out HostGator.com and take a bite out of your web hosting costs. Let's talk about NXT TakeOver. NXT TakeOver is Saturday night. I'm sorry, but this is the one that I'm really, really pumped about. I'm just a little disappointed about Gargano and Dunn being left off the card, but that's beside the point. So, Aaron, do you want to talk about TakeOver?
Really the only match I want to talk about is the War Games And I am super, super pumped for this. I loved War Games back when it was in WCW. Granted, some of the matches were a little kind of dubious or a little like kind of, you had to overbook them for the most part, but they were fun, and that's the thing. It's a car wreck, and that's what you are expecting for that. But it is a great way to save some of the talent because, it's typically like a 4-on-4 match. And so you are able to have those people, you don't have to work nearly as hard as you might in something else. Sometimes there's not really anything on the line, very similar to what it is here, but the match itself is going to be, I think, something spectacular. And to be able to see the two rings, I don't know if they're going to use it in other matches. I hope that they do. But I think in particular with this, with the type of talent that you have in there right now, I think that this could be a 5-star gimmick match, which is, like a 3-star normal match sort of thing. It has the capability of being really cool. And I can't wait to see what they're going to do with the Undisputed Era and the route that they're going to go. I'm expecting them to win. But I'm really curious to see what they're going to do with them after, assuming they get this win, where they're going to go after that.
I agree. I think this is going to be one of those things that's going to be nice to live the old days. They did say Dustin Rhodes is going to be ringside for the match, in tribute to his dad being the one that came up with the match. It was also nice that they did invite Cody, but I don't think he's going to be showing up. No, this NXT card, I'm really looking forward to it. There's a couple matches that seem pretty interesting to me, but the War Games itself is the main event and the highlight of it. And just kind of after watching a couple of the shows and everything like that, I do not see any way that the Undisputed Era does not win this one and coming out looking pretty dominant.
Yeah, no, I'm in agreement. I'm really excited about seeing War Games. It was one of my favorite, train wreck type matches, just because I always thought this isn't the type of match where you're looking for a 5-star classic in the ring. You're looking for some cool spots and a big development. And I think the big development is the Undisputed Era. And the way I see it is that the Undisputed Era needs to establish their dominance. And I think they have a perfect chance to do it by destroying the other two in War Games. Partially because I think Roddy Strong joins them. I think it becomes a 4-man group. And I think those 4 take out Sanity and the AOP, who I think are long at this point overdue to move up to the main roster and go wreck the Raw tag team scene. So it makes sense. You can send them out of NXT by destroying them in War Games. It makes the Undisputed Era look like the most unstoppable force. AOP can go up, no big deal. Sanity can continue to feud. The one criticism I guess having this match is that this is basically, out of the 9 men, I think only Roderick Strong is like a pure face. The Authors of Pain were heels the entire time and then kind of magically became faces by virtue of being attacked. Sanity had been heels the entire time and only became heels by being virtue of attack. I mean, it's a little strange in its composition. You don't have that true DIY baby face, where like the crowd's 100% behind them. I think you just have who do I hate less in this scenario. But the match itself will be really good. I think this is a time for Adam Cole, Fish, and O'Reilly to really establish themselves as the group before they go after McIntyre. And I think Roderick Strong needs a heel turn right here desperately. And this is the perfect moment for it. So, I mean, this is a one-match show. Let's not get it twisted. I don't really care about anything else on the show, even though there's going to be some good other matches. It's all about War Games, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is the time to do something like that.
I'm excited for this. I mean, I can only imagine what I think Cassius Ohno will do something interesting, because I think that they'll go from one ring to the other. But I think they'll do it where they'll have one ring for one match, another ring for the other. But I think that you'll see a lot of guys using both of them. But overall, the one match, I am looking forward to other ones, but I am looking forward to the War Games match. That's what this night is about, is War Games. I cannot wait till we see that cage lower. Oh, gosh. So pumped.
And we confirmed that it's a double ring.
Yes, they did say it's a double ring. So I'm so excited about that. Oh, it's going to be great. Of course, NXT Saturday night, 7 o'clock start time. I believe it's going to go 2.5, maybe 3 hours. I think it's going to be overall a way better show than Survivor Series. So getting into that Survivor Series, let's talk about it. Aaron, what do you think is going to happen with Survivor Series? Is there anything that you're expecting that you think will happen or maybe won't happen?
I'm a little more excited for Survivor Series after this week. Raw and SmackDown were both pretty good shows. And also with some of the changes they made in the match. I actually think that Usos versus The Bar is going to be better It is, I think, a little more predictable, not having the Shield there, but I think that's better. I actually think it saves the Usos then. Same thing with the women's match. I think that it's better to have Charlotte in there, and also the men's AJ Styles. So I'm a lot more excited for this than what I was previously. I think last year I had maybe like lowered expectations and it was just okay. But I think that this year's show has the capability of being a really good one. However, though, it's WWE. They're probably going to overbook some things. I think that the men's match, I think that they will over the 5-on-5. I think they're probably going to overbook it. I think that you'll have multiple run-ins for whatever reason because it's WWE, and that's going to be the way that they save some face for that. I think that it'll probably be almost WCW era levels of ridiculousness for that match, in my opinion. We'll see. However, though, I would say I am, heightened wise, like expectations. I'm probably like at a 4, out of 5 right now. I think that this could be really good. But talk to me next week, and I'll let you know whether or not they let me down.
War Games actually like 4.9 out of 5, and this one I'm more like a 2. But overall, I think there's a lot of things missing from this Survivor Series match. I think there's a lot. You don't have Owens, you don't have Zayn, you don't have Ellsworth. I mean, I'm sorry, he's gone. But you don't have like the perfect 10. He's not in there. What do you do? They should have another Survivor Series match for guys that should be there, but they're not utilizing everyone, which I think is a big disappointment to me. Overall, though, I am looking forward to the Survivor Series, but again, I don't have a lot of expectations for it. I'm just more curious how they're going to do the storyline and then how they're going to do Raw and SmackDown the following week. That's what I'm more curious about, because I think all the stuff that led up to it, I think it was okay, but the shows, like you said, Aaron, this week were really, really good.
Do you think there's a chance that Ellsworth is the mystery partner for SmackDown and that the whole being released was a work?
Yes. I want to believe.
I mean, he was the first Women's in the Bank winner. So he should be able to come back, I think, for this match. But that's fine. I'm actually more excited out of this in this Survivor Series match. And out of 10, I would say my expectations or excitement is at probably a 7, with wanting to be an 8. But at the same time, I know this is WWE, and I need to reel it back in. I'm excited for AJ Lesnar. I'm excited for the men's main event and storyline wise, and to see everything that's going to go on. But I just know that WWE is going to disappoint me one way or another. And this match when we talk next time, you're going to find out that my overall review for this will probably be at that 3 and 4 level. So I'm going in this with hope and expectations, but knowing it's WWE, realizing that my hopes and dreams of what they could do and everything that could be glorious will be shattered, and it'll just make me want to cancel the network again.
Cautious optimism is the way I would describe my anticipation going into the Night of Champions presented to you by Survivor Series. Because let's be clear, that's what this is. This is really a Night of Champions pay-per-view with 2 Survivor Series matches. And while I don't think that's a bad thing, that's not Survivor Series. I mean, this kind of feels like doing a Royal Rumble pay-per-view without the Rumble. Survivor Series is known for its traditional 5-on-5 elimination matches, and there are 2. That's strange to me. The other thing that concerns me is that I feel like typically when we have what you would call a very good pay-per-view, we have differences of opinion. On this, we all have the same on 5 matches. There's 2 matches where one person thinks different, and we have the main event match where we have actual differing opinions. So to me, this card is going to be solely dictated by how good the main event men's 5-on-5 is. If that match is a disappointment and a letdown, I think we're going to grade this card very harshly. I think if that ends up being a very good match and it has some memorable moments and maybe some spots we didn't see coming, some turns, who knows what, I think we look at this card more favorable. I think the rest of the card's fairly predictable. We could all be wrong, but I don't think there's a lot of wiggle room here. AJ ain't beating Lesnar. I don't think any of us buy that's going to happen. And because you have that lack of unpredictability, you're very much required. Basically, this one match has to carry the show. And that requires WWE to know how to book well. This isn't NXT. And this isn't SmackDown. This is run by Vince and the crew. So who knows what happens? But I think I'm at that 4 range. You know, maybe if the matches might be better, that the predictable outcomes aren't a big deal. But I also wouldn't be surprised that when we talk back in a week, we're all kind of like, meh. That should have been better. There should have been another Survivor Series match. There shouldn't have been a match like Miz Corbin. You know, there's so many of these matches for multiple reasons that just should have never happened. The women's match is such a mismatch. I mean, it's so unbelievably stacked for the Raw side that the idea of SmackDown winning is absurd, in my opinion. And to me, there's too much of that. I love Brock, but Brock versus AJ isn't as fun as if this were Samoa Joe versus AJ, where both champions could win. And I think when you don't have that, that takes away from what makes Survivor Series special. So this is more likely, even though I'd like it to be great, this is more likely to be a below average card because I think we're going to see it coming. I think we all really know the matches.
All right, Roger, what do you think is going to be worse, this Survivor Series or 1998 Survivor Series, where they had 18 matches?
I liked the Deadly Game tournament. I know a lot of people hated it, but I love the idea of one-night tournaments. It was one of the most unpredictable. You know, you got to see the evolution of The Rock turn into the corporate champion. Like that to me is what they should have done a couple of years ago when they had that stupid little tournament with Roman getting his coronation. Those are the kind of things that you talk about 20 years later. So, last year's 5-on-5 match was very good. If this match is anything close to that, I think this will be a good show. What I'm afraid of is what Aaron said, where this becomes Kane interferes, Jason Jordan interferes, Brian interferes, Owens and Zayn interferes, and all of a sudden this turns into a WCW 2000 type of deal where you're just like, what happened?
That could happen, believe it or not, but I think overall, I think it'll actually be at least entertaining. I think that there's going to be, I think NXT is going to set the bar so high going into Survivor Series. It's going to be, you're just sitting there just to be like, I think that's what's really going to happen. But overall, I'm looking forward to this weekend of wrestling shows. It's going to be awesome. So that's all the time we have for this special. If you're into the Twitter, you can follow the show OffMark86. I want to thank 86 Productions for hosting and editing the podcast. And I want to thank all of our listeners for taking the time to download and listen to the show. And for Roger Cave, Doug Hahn, and Aaron Hughes, I'm Andrew Hughes. And until next time, see you in the ring.